Hey everyone, I really want to thank you for your continued support here at the Elegant Oxford. I know it's been about 3 weeks since I've posted a video, but my wife has been really sick with the stomach bug and it threw my schedule completely off, since my days for the past 2 weeks have been busy taking care of my daughter in the mornings while my wife rests. Going forward, I will start posting videos weekly again, since you as my audience deserves to see the content I've promised to deliver. As always, don't forget to follow me on Instagram if you haven't already, so you can stay up to date on the jobs that I do that I don't make videos for, like this rosewood mahogany sunburst patina I recently did on these Allen Edmonds strands. As always, if you'd like to support the channel, make sure to visit theelegantoxford.com for all of your Saphir needs. Use code OctoberFriends for a small discount at checkout for my YouTube audience. Welcome to the Elegant Oxford. We specialize and offer premium shoe shines, dyes, and artisan patinas for quality men's brands and help others to learn the art of shoe shining. Visit theelegantoxford.com for all of your shoe care and Saphir Madai Dior needs. Welcome back to my review series for the Elegant Oxford. In today's video, I'm going to be unboxing and reviewing 2 pairs of Cap-Toe Oxford from CNES, pronounced CNES, Shoemaker out of Singapore. They have 2 separate lines we'll be looking at, so hopefully you can examine what's coming out of countries and zones that you might never have heard of before. While I do look at many companies I'm familiar with here in my review series, I also like looking at companies I've never heard of so that we can explore them together. A lot of people may not know this, but a lot of companies out of Singapore and Asia have really been putting out some amazing products. In a way, as fine shoemaking has started to decline in the West in some areas, a lot of dedicated artisans like CNES have preserved the old techniques they've learned in England and in Spain and are keeping them alive today for us to enjoy. A lot of you have actually been asking me to review a pair by this company, so I'm excited to take a look. Right off the bat, I'm really pleased to see a nice sturdy box, since I personally keep them to organize everything in my closet the right way. Now, this little printout here is a thank you note, and it's something I really like to see. It contains all the relevant info you might need for an exchange, and then even includes a phone number and contact info for convenience. I like seeing stuff like this. You can never go wrong with small touches in customer service. Now, like I've mentioned before, I don't prefer one large shoe bag over 2 individual shoe bags, but your preference may be different. The bags are really silky smooth and feel almost like velvet, with a golden embossed CNES logo on the leather patch here. This is definitely a high quality shoe bag and there are no complaints about it at all. Now, I'm going to be unboxing both shoes here side by side so you can see them. I'll insert shoe trees and then I'll shine them quickly and we can get started with the actual review. So, let's start off with their main Goodyear welted line. Now, this shoe is absolutely gorgeous, and for those who may not know, this is actually a Balmoral Oxford, and it's called the BR1-AM, which is a really unique name for a pair of shoes. Now, you've probably heard the word Balmoral thrown out a lot in the shoe world, most commonly with boots and Oxfords. So for those who don't know, for a boot or a shoe to be considered a Balmoral, it must have this horizontal seam right here that comes across the shoe and separates the lower from the upper portion. If this were a boot, this seam would separate the lower from the upper shaft of the boot. Today, especially in the US, the word Balmoral is used to denote a normal Oxford, but that's actually incorrect. It must have the seam. This is my first Balmoral Oxford, believe it or not, so I'm actually really excited to get my hands on it. The shoes feature a beautiful swan neck design here by the throat, which is a really regal touch that you just don't see as commonly anymore. I especially like that it's punched directly into the upper like it is. It's just really unique in a good way. The shoes are constructed using beautiful full grain calf from Vokalu in this dark, rich brown shade that I really think pumps up the shoe's versatility. It's soft and malleable to the touch, which is a great thing because long break-in periods like leather found on Mirror Mean can be frustrating to deal with for some. Everything seems stitched correctly and evenly, especially along the Balmoral seam. The shoes feature a punch cap toe with a classic soft toe. It's definitely round, but it has slight chiseling here, which gives it a little debonair flair. Now, when you look at the last of the shoe from the side, you'll notice it's not super dynamic like what you might see on other brands, but it is definitely more attractive and contoured than the classic American Oxford. The Balmoral seam really tricks the eye, making the shoe appear slim and elongated, which looks really dapper. I've never given Balmoral shoes the credit they deserve because they are really beautiful in person. I gotta say, this shoe has really grown on me since I first pulled it out of the box. The juxtaposition between the swan neck and the long Balmoral seam really speaks to me. Now let's look at the Winston, which is from CNES's Bologna Goodyear welted line. I know it's spelled Bologna, but it's actually Bologna. And Bologna construction is a shoe method known for its incredible flexibility and comfort. Bologna shoes contain an incredibly soft inner lining, and the leather upper is actually wrapped completely under your foot for comfort, and then the sole is stitched to the upper. Since this is still a Goodyear welted shoe, CNES has combined the soft bag lining of Bologna construction and has combined that with the traditional Goodyear welting process for a unique shoe. To my knowledge, CNES is the only company that has a shoe like this, so it's awesome to see this type of ingenuity. As with the Goodyear welted line, the Winstons are made using full-grain calf from Vokalu in a beautiful cognac amber color. The shoes are a plain toe Oxford with some broguing near the throat of the shoe, which gives them a more casual flair than a normal plain cap toe Oxford, but I think it's safe to say that this shoe was designed to be a bit more on the casual side. The stitching is even and straight all throughout, although the finish could use a little work since there are some areas of slight discoloration, but of course, depending on who you are, this could either be a real deal or a complete nitpick since it's impossible to see when the shoes are on your feet. This is just for your information. The shoes feature a classic round toe, and when you look at them from the side, it's definitely a regal yet classic design with some flair, but it still respects the down-to-earth nature of the shoe. No dynamic lines or hard contours, but instead it's a gentle yet striking silhouette that is easy on the eyes while still inviting. It's slim and sleek, but not so elongated that it feels too modern. I feel like this shoe is right in the Goldilocks zone where it needs to be. Another clue that really tells me this shoe is more classic and robust is that the laces are thicker, which says relaxed and leaning casual, as opposed to the tightly woven laces you see on really dressy Oxfords, but this isn't a complaint at all. The throat of the shoe closes nicely and tightly, just how I like it. Now let's move down to the welt of the shoe and we'll head back over to the Balmoral Oxford. I'm glad to see some welt fudging here, which are those perpendicular indentations that were once used in the past to let the cobbler know where to stitch, but today they're more as a fine detail than anything else. The fudging isn't as deep or as stark as I would like, but it's definitely there. Now here's something I didn't notice at first, but it caught my eye as I was examining the shoe. The welt actually has sort of a soft spade shape. Notice how the welt flares by the side and then cuts in close as it reaches the heel. That's a detail I love seeing. As I've mentioned in other videos, this feature really accentuates the human foot, and it's a shame more companies don't do it anymore. The shoes feature a solid 7 stitches per inch on the welt, which is always great to see, and a 270-degree Goodyear welt, which allows for a nice tight heel at the back. The edges are nice and smooth and feature some beveling here on the side, which flattens nicely as it gets near to the front of the shoe. Now let's head back over to the Winston. The shoes feature 6 stitches per inch, which is slightly less than the Balmoral, but it's not bad at all. And like the other model I've already inspected, the Winston features nice, even welt fudging, which always makes me happy to see since a lot of prominent companies forego this detail. I think you could just ignore it and hardly anyone would notice, but the fact that some companies still do it means they have an eye for fine details, which is something you should always support. Like the Balmoral, the Winston also has this soft spade design, which flares out by the front and then cuts in close as it reaches the heel. This is probably my favorite feature on any shoe, so I am always super happy to see it because it's just so uncommon and it looks so beautiful. Now, since this is a more casual shoe, the edges are just a little bit thicker, but they're still designed well. There's some nice beveling here by the side, which flattens out near the front of the foot, and everything seems smooth and in its proper place. Now let's head down to the underside of the shoe with the Balmoral, which is where I think the shoe really shines. The shoe features closed channel stitching, which is always a sign of added quality, which means the shoes are welted and then covered back over to hide the stitching. It really gives the shoe a really clean look and I really love it. The two-tone sole looks really impressive with the CNES logo engraved here at the front toe area. Now as we head down, you'll notice another really great detail, and that's the really dynamic and pronounced beveled waist here. It's mostly for aesthetics, but it shows me that CNES cares for the fine details, and for a reasonable price, which is always something I like to see. If you look at the shoe from the side, you can even see the pronounced beveling sticking out of the bottom. The heel features a gentleman's notch, which is a cool old school detail, and a half rubber heel for traction with 5 nails. It's all done really well and everything looks clean and in its proper form. Since the Winstons feature Bologna construction, I was half expecting to see less fine details, but these cap-toe Oxfords are no slouch either. The waist isn't as contoured, but it still features more beveling than what you'd find on shoes at this low of a price point. The shoes feature Vibram toppies, which are these thick rubber pieces that are bonded over the sole for added durability. It gives it a more casual look because it adds a millimeter or two of thickness to the sole, but proponents of toppies swear by them, and I know plenty of guys who have them on all of their shoes. It easily doubles the durability of your shoes, so they're a great investment for some. CNES did a good job contouring the toppy here as well, so it follows the shape of the sole. It's honestly quality work, and I love the deep mahogany color I'm seeing here. The heels look identical to the other pair and are solid in construction. To be honest, these are both great shoes for the price, especially the Balmoral. Alright, so now that we've had a chance to look these over, what are your thoughts? The shoes aren't perfect, but I'm especially happy with the Balmoral Oxford since it just looks so beautiful, and it features fine details I really appreciate for a great price. I think if CNES just cleans up a little on the shoe's finish and continues to put out pairs like the ones I've seen here, they'll definitely continue to be strong competitors for sartorialists who are looking for fine details at a great price. I'd like to thank CNES for this opportunity to review a pair of their shoes, and I hope you like this entry in the Elegant Oxford review series. As always, let me know down below if there are companies you'd be interested in seeing for review. Have a great one, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, and share for more content in the future. Visit theelegantoxford.com if you'd like to purchase any of the shoe products you've seen me use. Make sure to check out my other videos as well if you'd like to learn more about the art of the shoe shine. Don't forget to look for me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Elegant Oxford. Remember to care for your shoes so they'll last you for years to come. Always put your best foot forward. The small details matter most, so don't forget to #shine your shoes. I'll see you next time.